Art.
Two more spots remain in the Elite Eight, and we are about to find out which team's advancing out of the Sweet 16 between the number 1 seed Baylor and the 4th seeded Wisconsin Badgers. Hi there, and welcome to Charlotte. Along with Mike Abelson, I'm Alex Perlman. So glad you could make us a part of your evening here as Wisconsin looks to pull the upset against a team in Jared Butler and the Bears that is hungry for a national championship and certainly one of the favorites. Third most wins in program history with 28 this season. Demetric Trice and Wisconsin, though, making their 5th Sweet 16 in the last 7 years. Mike?
Again, two teams with a lot of veteran talent that knows how to win big games. You would expect this one to be nothing short of immaculate. How
did they get here? Well, Baylor took down 16th seed Boston University in the first round, then got number 9 Indiana in the second. For Wisconsin, they got North Texas in the first round and knocked off Auburn in the second here to advance to the Sweet 16, and we are underway here in Charlotte Bobcats Arena, won by Wisconsin, the lower seed, wearing the red uniforms, Baylor in their traditional home whites. 13th NCAA tournament appearance for the Bears under Scott Drew, 6th in their last 8 years. This might be his best team that he has ever had, though, here in year number 17 in Waco.
The Reddit Premium Free Throw Cam in the first half is brought to you by Tweeter. Audio, video, and a whole lot more.
First free throw up and good as Wisconsin is on the board to start things off.
You ever go to a tweeter back in the day?
You know, I've been to the Tweeter Center to see concerts, but I don't think I ever actually went inside a tweeter.
It was a TV store, but they served me orange juice and a cabana on the inside. It was very strange.
Is that true?
That's complete true. The tweeter in Waltham, Massachusetts. It was a strange experience.
Baylor's first offensive possession, a team averaging 71 points. Defense is their specialty, though they turn it over right there, averaging 12 of them so far this year. That has not been the problem for Scott Drew, and actually there haven't really been many issues so far, and there is a steal. Back on the other end, first giveaway by Wisconsin. Inside, they'll give it to Freddie Gillespie, the big man, the redshirt senior. Just had 21 points, 10 rebounds in that win over Indiana, and there is his first bucket against the Badgers.
If Gillespie heats up, this is going to be a long night for this Wisconsin team. We saw what he could do against Indiana. Incredibly talented, and he knows how to score it in multiple ways on the inside.
Gillespie, the Big 12 most improved player this season. Nice feed inside. This is Nate Reavers back out to 3, and that one just a little bit too strong as Gillespie takes his first rebound down, averaging 9 of them so far this year.
You know, again, these guys, they have to pay attention where their feet are. Now, I think Reavers may have had a foot on the line. You have to pay attention to that.
We've seen that a lot so far this tournament. This is a 3 for Teague, and he drains it. That's a great start for the leading scorer for Baylor, averaging 14 points per game.
God, for Big Ten fans, it's the same nightmare as the second round. Teague and Gillespie, 8 Indiana alive, and so far they got all 5 for the Bears.
Long deuce. Wouldn't go for Brad Davison, averaging 10 points per game. He dropped 28. That was a game high in the win over Auburn. A very difficult SEC program to take down under Bruce Pearl. Here's Mark Vital going to work in the paint, and he will earn a trip to the free throw line. Vital, the redshirt junior out of Lake Charles, Louisiana, went off for 23 points in the first round win over Boston University. Had 13 points last game in their second round W.
I find it interesting with this Baylor team. It's just a pure luck of the cards, but it's been nothing but red for them. The scarlet and white of Boston University, and then you get the crimson and cream of Indiana, and now you have the Badgers. And Baylor just going step by step up the ladder.
So I guess you're saying the selection committee really doesn't take color into account?
I don't think that they do, but I'm not on the committee, so I can't say for certain. I do know that the winner of this game gets Seton Hall, and there's something wrong if there's red in a Seton Hall jersey.
Yeah, I think we're going to avoid that, hopefully. I think barring an injury, we're going to see just a lot of white, black, and blue potentially. But not that kind of black and blue, if you get what I'm saying. Pritzel picks up the foul, and Gillespie is going to the free throw line here for his first trip.
Shooting 2.
Gillespie, 68% free
city,
throw shooter.
So sorry right there, Alex. 4 men, 1 city, the same 5 jokes, and all new and practical jokers Tuesday on True TV.
So this one doesn't include some sort of classic movie.
No, it's just 4 guys in New York, messing around, causing a ruckus.
Hopefully staying safe, though.
You would hope.
Mitchell picks it off. That's his first steal of the game. He had 3 of them in the win over Indiana. The reason he is the Big 12 Newcomer of the Year and a Naismith Defensive Player of the Year finalist. He started his career at Auburn, played 2 seasons under Bruce Pearl. Some sloppy passing so far. Good defense for both sides. Davison from 15, blocked away by Teague.
Got Maceo Teague, not someone you're expecting to get a block that far away from the bucket, but the redshirt junior from Cincinnati doing it all.
13th tournament appearance for Baylor. Wide open look won't go down. Gillespie the follow and the finish.
Well, you see that energy for the Bears. We talked, at the top. If Gillespie gets going, this Baylor team is a nightmare to deal with. 100% from the field, although he is out due to an injury right there.
Yeah, so Gillespie has to go to the bench, and now it's going to be Tristan Clark coming in, who's a guy that's dealt with injury so far in his recent career. Went down with a knee issue last January, ended his season. He was their number 2 scorer at the time, Mike, but he hasn't really been the same since, averaging 13 minutes per game this year.
Yeah, and we don't know how long Gillespie's going to be out. Hopefully he comes back soon. I'm sure all the fans in green and gold out here in Charlotte desperately want to see him back on the court.
Trice, tough 3 goes down.
God, what a shot, Demetric Trice. Let's take another look at that. I mean, so pretty. Just the elevation, the way he spots up. That's why he's one of the best guards in the Big Ten.
Trice, 1,000-point score, just got it in the regular season finale against Indiana, of course, who Baylor knocked off to get to this part of the tournament. Early 6-point deficit, 4.5 minutes in now for the Wisconsin Badgers. Co-Big Ten regular season champs. Someone's got to cover Trice.
I mean, we just saw him coming down last time. Now he's coming right back up the court, hitting another 3. 6 the easy way for Demetric Trice.
And Mike, he is only 4 points off his season average.
And we're just 5 minutes into this game.
Here's Jared Butler, the 3rd-team All-American, consensus top 100 recruit coming out of high school. He's a sophomore now. And thankfully for Baylor fans, even after this year ends, he's still got 2 more years of eligibility. Teague forced to fire it up at the end of the shot clock, and Micah Potter rips it down. Ohio State transfer, playing his first season with the Badgers.
Great defending. Great defending by Wisconsin, not letting anyone get to the inside and asserting themselves in the paint.
Excellent look by Potter. It ends up in 2 for Aleem Ford as he is on the board.
Gillespie just checking back in for the Bears. Baylor fans, I'm sure, excited to see big number 33 back out there.
That has to be a huge sigh of relief for Scott Drew as well. This team's so much better when he's on the floor. Nice finish with the left for Vital.
There's a nice pace to this game so far. Not too crazy, not too slow. Both teams seem to have really settled in nicely to it.
Yeah, I would say exactly what you expect in a Sweet 16 game. You've got 2 very high-level teams here in Baylor, Big 12 champ Wisconsin, co-Big Ten champ. This is what we're expecting. And another great look inside. Easy work down low for the 6'10 Potter.
Yeah, and don't look now, but the Badgers just down a point after that hot start by Baylor.
Here's Mitchell. How about these numbers, Mike? Averaging 8.5 assists in the NCAA tournament. He's been all over the floor.
Yeah, it's been just a remarkable tournament for so many players out there right now.
Wisconsin can take the lead with a bucket here on this possession. Davison, who's coming off a game-high 28 in their last win. Foot fake for Davison. Only 10 to shoot. Gets it to a cutting Ford, and now back over to Trice for a long two.
Did you hear him call that? I know earlier in this tournament you said you were hearing people calling those bank shots.
Yeah, I think I heard that one as well. We're going to give it to him.
Okay.
You're good with that ruling, or do we have an objection?
I defer to your expertise.
That's the first time that's ever happened.
I
Wisconsin,
defer to my esteemed colleague from the great state of New York.
Wisconsin back ahead. There's the 3-ball off from Teague. He's already made one today. A guy that shoots 36% from beyond the arc. This seems to
Someone's got to come to him.
This seems to just be what Wisconsin seems to do year in, year out. As a goaltend is going to be called there. No, they're going to call a foul on Teague, and 2 free throws coming up for Potter. It seems like just no matter what kind of team Wisconsin has had the last few years, they get to the Sweet 16 somehow.
By hook, by crook, they know how to do it.
It started with Bo Ryan, of course, then Greg Gard comes in, takes over for Bo in December 2015, made the Sweet 16 in Gard's first 2 years. And maybe not a ton expected, certainly not a co-Big Ten regular season championship, except for the most diehard of fans in Madison, Wisconsin. But it led Gard to become this year's Big Ten Coach of the Year.
And that was an absolutely wild Big Ten slate this year. I mean, no one was able to separate, and yet at the end they were able to claim a championship.
Not enough for Vital. Clark! No on the putback, but free throws coming up after Aleem Ford makes his first foul of the game, 4th on Wisconsin thus far.
For decades, Cups Drive-In has been one of Waco's hidden gems. Stop in for eggs, burgers, and the best fries in the Lone Star State. Cups Drive-In is the place to go.
Yes. I would love one of those right now. Just anything on the menu, I think.
I like food, so if you have food, I'm a fan. Well, except raisins and scallops. I really don't like raisins and scallops. Raisins I don't think should exist on principle, and scallops are just like, they're shrimp but worse.
Is all dried fruit off limits for you, or is it just raisins?
No, I like dried pineapple. I like dried ginger. I don't mind craisins. It's just raisins are just bleh.
Butler rips down his second. Do you have an issue with fruits that become dried and then take on other names, like going from grape to raisin?
No, it's not that. And I do love a good grape. And I do love grape soda, although that is not actual grape. But raisins just, I don't like them.
Fair enough. I like raisins, but I'm with you on the scallops. They just don't do it for me for some reason.
Nah, I love shrimp. I love fish, I love sushi. Just not a scallop fan.
All right, now that we know all of the culinary tastes of Mike Abelson, we'll get back to the game here as Butler picks up his first foul.
I mean, we haven't even talked about the good stuff. I once had cucumber ice cream. Don't be me. Don't eat cucumber ice cream.
That does not sound like anything I'm going for anytime soon.
It wasn't fun.
Potter has been great so far early on. Him and Nate Reavers really do switch time. They share that number 5 spot. Potter averaging 18 minutes per game. Reavers 26 on the year. But it really does depend who is on that day, and Greg Gard will ride the hot one.
And we were so busy talking about my choice of delicacies that Wisconsin has very quietly taken the lead in this game. 11-10 to go in the first half. And now the Badgers setting the tone.
Wide open three falls down for Vital. That's a great sign because he was just 2 of 17 in the regular season this year from beyond the arc.
Yeah, and then suddenly if he's hitting deep shots and Teague is hitting deep shots, it's a completely different Baylor team.
Their backcourt might be exactly what sets apart the Bears and could lead to a potential national championship this year. And the defense, picked off by Mitchell, already his second steal. Trying to get Gillespie back involved. He went down with that early injury back in the game, sharing it with Clark, and now it goes into the hands of Vital once again. Mitchell looking for some movement. Clark short corner. 8 to shoot. Double comes, and he threw it right into the hands of Ford.
Yeah, no one came to the ball. You need to move off the ball to create openings. No one did that.
Not something you're used to seeing from Baylor. Usually a lot of movement off the ball. Not that time. But right back the other way, Wisconsin throws it into the hands of Vital. Up ahead, Mitchell, and he's going to the stripe. Trice picks up his first.
God, that was a hard foul by Demetric Trice. But it sends Baylor to the line. So we take another look at it. Just comes storming back. Just almost clubbed the back of his head right there.
Davion Mitchell shooting 66% on the year from the charity stripe. Big 12 newcomer of the year. Again, after transferring from Auburn. And a lot of times you'll see these players go from school to school, Mike, especially when you go from a power team to another power team, and maybe they don't make such an impact at their previous school, but Mitchell was a force off the bench for Bruce Pearl. That was a really big get for Scott Drew a couple years ago.
Yeah, I mean, there's always so many factors at play, and, everyone is still so young and growing. What you want at 17 may not be what you want at 19, and, there's so much room to be flexible and move around now that, Auburn's loss is Baylor's big gain.
And who knows what Auburn might have done this year. They were eliminated by Wisconsin in the second round, and Bruce Pearl's team out. And Baylor, of course, still in, trying to battle Wisconsin for a spot in the Elite Eight. Trice again. That's been his shot all game long, that left wing triple.
Second assist for Davison. Trice with more than half of Wisconsin's points, 11 for the guard already.
Cuts the Baylor lead to just 1. Vital again. Dial it up from 3.
God, they got some real friendly rims here in Charlotte, cutting both ways.
Vital already into double figures, joining Wisconsin's Trice. 4-point deficit for the Badgers. Pritzel passed up the wide-open 3 instead, back in the hands of Trice, averaging 4 assists per game, most on the team for the tremendous point guard out of Ohio. Davison, long triple, goes! 3-point shooting contest in Charlotte.
Hey, you know what? If the rim is going to be kind, if the net's going to swish for you, might as well keep taking them.
Big one for Davison, too, as he finally puts his first points on the scoreboard. Here's Vital again. Missed the wide open 3, but Clark's there for the O board. Inside, Vital can't finish. Talk about those rims being kind right there, Mike. Didn't quite happen that way for the Bears.
For some types of metal, kindness is conditional.
I guess iron would be one of them.
I'm more of a titanium tungsten guy.
Oh, Davison!
Have you ever seen a man break the laws of physics? Well, that's what Brad Davison did there. Look at that. Look at the way he just floats through the air like a fish in the ocean. Good Lord.
I think he made that, Mike, just a little bit more difficult than he needed to, but you know what? 2 points is 2 points. One more coming up for Vital, who is really asserting himself early on for the Bears.
Substitution on the court.
PB Max is the official peanut butter treat of the virtual tournament. PB Max, we mean peanut butter.
And he finishes it off. Vital up to 13 points already. Guy that's averaging only 6 on the year. He only scored 13 in that win over Indiana last round. Did add 11 rebounds, though.
Hey, March produces some of the strangest big-time performers, and sometimes it's the 6-point-a-game guy who saves his best for March or even April.
Trice again. He finally missed from beyond the arc as Clark rips it down.
He is human.
Maybe in that shot, but I don't expect him to miss that too many more times. Baylor ball, 2-point advantage. 6:57 to go in the first. Mitchell off the fake, looking for a screen to come from Vital. Instead, it's back around. 3 ball, up and good! This time it's Matthew Meyer checking into the game, the sophomore from Austin, hitting from long range.
And the lead keeps slipping back and forth, but Baylor now, what's been a game of runs, they're the ones sprinting right now. And the Bears are deep.
Meyer only plays 11 minutes a game getting on the scoreboard, and right back it goes to Pritzl for Wisconsin. His 3 no, Potter's put back, not this time either. So Gillespie already has ripped down 4 rebounds with 6 minutes to go before the break. A 5-point advantage for the Bears. To a cutting Gillespie.
If you're Baylor, you're just trying to get it up to 10 right now.
Getting closer and closer there.
Touchdown spread.
So Wisconsin has it down by that TD, and we'll see if Trice and company can get back in gear. The diminutive point guard right back to Potter after a couple of fakes. Inside cutting Ford. Nice righty finish off the glass.
Big bucket for the Badgers. You can't let this Baylor team get too far away. Excellent feed by Potter. Again, it's Wisconsin. You know you're going to get good team basketball with Wisconsin.
Full court pressure came for a moment. Instead, just dummy and backed off. Now here by Greg Gard. Mitchell finally gets it across the midline. To Meyer again. Potter contributing on both ends. The big man for Wisconsin out of Ohio State, originally starting his career in Columbus, but he missed on the offensive side.
Clark's 4th rebound.
Tristan Clark only played 10 minutes in the win over Indiana, already having a much bigger impact so far. There's Clark, little shimmy, and free throws upcoming as Potter picks up the foul. That's already his 2nd.
Let's see what Gard does. He may choose to sit Potter for the rest of this half.
Well, when you do have Reavers as an option, you would expect him to play a little bit more here in the first half, but 2 substitutions for Greg Gard, and none of them involving Micah Potter.
Interesting as Anderson and Davison check back in.
And they'll get it right back out to Mitchell. Oh, I'm sorry, Potter actually did take a seat there. So he is on the bench, and a very small lineup right now in for the Badgers. Long 2. A little short this time as Anderson has his first rebound.
4:30 to go now as the Badgers trying to make sure they stay within eyesight of this Baylor team, because as we know, Baylor can open it up quick on you.
You know what, in this tournament though, Mike, it's interesting. We've seen a lot of first half teams going down in the first half and then coming back to win. It's been kind of impressive, actually, how good teams have played at the end of the game when they've really needed to.
I think that's a testament to good coaching, able to make adjustments, and really good players being able to execute.
Here's Vital in the corner looking for some help to a cutting Gillespie. Just a 5-point advantage. This has been tight throughout. That time Butler blocked by the bottom of the rim, it looked like, and Pritzl has his second rebound. The grad transfer, the only player in his final season of eligibility here for the Badgers.
Yeah, we've seen the rim and the backboard doing a lot of good defending on both ends throughout this tournament for a lot of teams.
Davison. Not enough. Gillespie already with 6 boards, but threw it right into the hands of Anderson. Davison tries again. 2 straight misses from deep. Ford is there for the putback that wouldn't go. If you don't make those, going to be tough to beat Baylor. And an easy look inside for Clark.
A quick 4-point swing. Again, that's what Baylor does so well. As Trice comes back in now for Anderson, you give the Bears an inch, they're going to take at least 3 or 4 miles from you.
Yeah, so the lead back to 7 as Trice comes back in and immediately finds a great look inside to Pritzl.
I mean, are there any more superlatives we can say about Demetric Trice? It's only still the first half.
Comes from good stock as well, if that last name sounds familiar. The younger brother of Travis Trice, who also scored 1,000 points, albeit for a different Big Ten team playing for Tom Izzo in Michigan State.
Iron sharpens iron, and Demetric Trice learned from one of the best, and now he's showing it right here in the Sweet 16.
Yeah, can you imagine going up against that game after game, day after day, growing up at the Trice house?
I mean, those pickup games must have been legendary.
Pritzl off the mark. Up ahead. Beautiful feed and finish. Butler transferring it inside.
Whoa. Look at that. A nice slingshot pass in by Butler for the finish. I believe this is Baylor's biggest lead since, I think, 3 minutes into the game.
Yeah, that sounds about right. A 9-point advantage. As Vital is up to 15 points already. He's leading everyone as Ford looks for some help for Wisconsin. Back to Trice. Too much. He's missed his last 3 from beyond the arc, and now it's danger time here for Wisconsin.
I said a few minutes ago Baylor is going to want to get it up into doubles. Let's see how Wisconsin responds down the stretch to keep this within the realm of reality.
So where does Wisconsin go here? Trice has missed a few from deep. So has Davison. Pritzl has been good, and he continues.
Pritzl doing a lot of small things right. Right there, get it down to 7. You're going to have 1, if not 2 possessions down the stretch here to potentially get closer.
Inside a minute left before the break. 7-point lead for Baylor with the basketball. Mitchell. Trice giving him a little more room. Now takes that away. Gillespie, short. Not exactly the shot we were expecting for Freddie Gillespie, attempting his first 3 of the year. Pritzl now to wall off the cut. Draws his man in the air. Around it goes to Ford in the corner. Where does Wisconsin go? This offense has become stagnant recently. 6-second game clock to shot clock difference, that is. Into the corner for Davison. Just 5 to shoot. Driving baseline and picked off by Mitchell with 6 seconds left here in the half. Mitchell. 2. 3 ball off, and Gillespie can't get a shot off at the end of the first. 7-point lead, Mike, here for Baylor after 20 minutes of play. So the Badgers.
Down advantage. that rebound advantage really is something else for the Bears. Vital's 15 has been remarkable.
So one half in the books here between the Badgers and the Bears. The number 1 seed Baylor looking to solidify its spot in the Elite Eight. 20 more minutes to go. We'll be back in just a few moments with the second half from Charlotte right after this. Here in Charlotte, 20 minutes to decide who is the 7th of the 8 Elite 8 teams. Is it Baylor, number 1 seed looking for a national championship, or Wisconsin, the number 4 seed looking for an upset? We will find that out in just a few moments. Alex Perlman, Mike Abelson with you here at Charlotte Bobcats Arena. And Mike, it was a great start for Baylor, kind of doing exactly what they needed to against a very feisty Wisconsin team.
Yeah, they trailed for a few minutes, but for the most part, Baylor controlled the first half. You'd expect them to do a lot of the same here in the final 20.
Gillespie back involved. Put back for 9 points now on the ball game. Lead is 9. Reavers down low. Aleem Ford, and he'll earn a trip to the free throw line.
The Reddit Premium free throw cam in the second half is brought to you by Blockbuster. There's only one left. Blockbuster.
That has to be my favorite read so far, Mike. Excellent.
It is delightful. It's out in Bend, Oregon, about 3 hours from Portland. They're making a movie on it. No, I've never been to the state of Oregon, but the movie trailer looks quite nice.
I can't wait to watch that when it comes out. Blockbuster was a part of childhood. Feel sentimental for those kinds of things. There's Davison off the glass.
Davison has no time for sentimentality. He's here to score his points. He's here to get his Badgers to the national quarterfinals.
Yeah, no question. All about the dub. And the Badgers, the co-Big Ten regular season champs, sharing it with Maryland and Michigan State. It was the first one under Greg Gard. A 1 seed in the Big Ten tournament. That'll help Baylor's cause. Davion Mitchell for 3.
Again, we talked about so much today how Baylor always seems to have answers. You look at the players that they have. Vital, Butler, Clark, Teague, Mitchell, Gillespie. So many different ways they can score.
Yeah, they are absolutely loaded and primed in Scott Drew's 17th year for a national championship run. Mitchell gets the screen from Vital, instead dribbles back over to the wing. Vital's calling for it. Into the hands of Butler, 15 to shoot. Gillespie wants it, working on Ford. Instead, it's back in the hands of Teague with 7. Mitchell. Gonna have to put it up. Can't hit towards the end of the shot clock, but there is Butler. 6'3" guard going in there along with the trees to earn the foul.
Shooting 2.
17:59 to go now, and Butler can score 2 points and put Baylor ahead 9. And that's what the Bears are going to want to do. If they can keep it between 7 and a dozen the rest of the half, Scott Drew would be perfectly fine with that.
Butler has been quiet so far, averaging 16 points per game, leading the way for the Bears. Double figures 8 of his last 9 games. That includes a 10-point performance in their second-round win over Indiana. Nine-point deficit now for Wisconsin. Long 2. Straight cash. Ford's got 9.
Cash is good. It's always good.
Mitchell running the show, averaging again 8.5 assists in the NCAA tournament this year. He has been remarkable. Into the corner, wide open. Mitchell! Not going to miss when he's got that few around him.
God, he just kind of snuck out the back door and no one was there. And as I say that, Ford with a huge answer. But again, Wisconsin has to be aware of where all these shooters are because they will make them pay.
Did have a toe on the line, so just a long two that time. Mitchell once again. Spins in the lane, kick it back out. Screen comes from Gillespie, looking to feed him! And exactly what they do. Big man with the left.
Real quietly, it's up to double figures. And if you're a coach guard, you have to be pulling your hair out right now because everything was going so well for such a long stretch of that first half.
Over to Trice. Back on the board. 14 on the game for the Badgers point guard.
He's so good. He's just so good.
Got a smooth-looking shot, doesn't he?
Like Sunday morning.
Here's Teague. Back over to Mitchell. Right back in the hands of Teague, coming off a 28-point performance against Indiana. Gillespie off the cut, right back in Mitchell's hands, and he makes Wisconsin pay.
It feels like every time the Bears need a big answer, it's always Mitchell. It's always Mitchell. A real testament to his talent.
Lead is once again 9 now for Baylor. Under 16 minutes left in regulation. The open Trice won't miss that one.
Spread's now just 7. The Badgers hanging around.
Trice way over his season average of 10 points. He's already got 16. Teague, ever reliable from beyond the arc. It seems like both teams here in the second half just can't miss.
Yeah, but still, Baylor just keeping it right at 10 points. This is exactly what they need to do, and they're being successful at it. And as I say that, Davison with a long J.
What a game this has been so far. Great looks. That was a good one to Vital, but he couldn't finish as Reavers picks up the contact.
This YouTube Spotlight is brought to you by H.H. Gregg, Price and Advice Guaranteed. And Alex, if you're looking for the good memes, the good jokes, the good commentary, and just a fun time, go check Gus Johnson on YouTube. No, it's not that Gus Johnson. YouTube Gus Johnson, though, has challenged basketball's Gus Johnson to a game of horse for the official right to be called Gus Johnson. It's enthralling stuff. So go check him out. Good laughs, good time. Gus Johnson on YouTube.
Hang on, Mike. So the loser doesn't get to call themselves their own name? Is that how that works?
I believe that, maybe you'd have to go by your full given name if Gus isn't your full name. I'm not quite aware of how it goes.
Augustus Johnson.
I'm not privy to that. I'm not privy to all the information, but he does make good videos. Very funny.
Beautiful feed inside. Now Potter is back involved. He had a strong start, Mike, but has kind of gone away recently with Reavers getting a lot of run at the end of the first and the beginning of the second half.
Well, I believe he's been fighting foul trouble, so it's been difficult for him to find a rhythm.
Potter did pick up his second foul late in the first half. Here's Vital. Triple goes down. He's up to 19.
God, he's having the game of his life.
He is 13 points above his average.
I'm sure Scott Drew won't complain about that.
No, not at all. It doesn't matter who gets it done, as long as it's someone wearing white. Double-digit lead for, I believe, the first time in this game. Pritzel. Back to Trice, long two. Too much. Ford's got it right back, and he'll go in for an easy shot off the window.
That's 13 for Ford. Great placement. He knew where the rebound was going to be. Pulls it down in the middle of 3 white jerseys. Gets 2 back.
So now the Bears, who were leading at halftime by 7, up by 8. Baylor has won 89% of its games when leading at the half since 2011, when they have the advantage under Scott Drew. Usually means the W. Butler off of the cut through Gillespie's hands. Tyler Wall to Davison. That would have been a huge three to go down for the Badgers.
Oh, that would have blown the roof off this place. I mean, there's a lot of red in the crowd. They would have exploded.
Making the long trip potentially from Madison, Wisconsin to Charlotte, North Carolina.
Oh, well, you know just as well. Wisconsin always travels well.
Yeah, they sure do. Doesn't matter who's the coach. Bo Ryan, Greg Gard. Badgers fans show up. Davison back to Wall with a foot on the three-point arc. Potter, great ball movement. In and out on the shot, but Potter's there for the big finish.
That's exactly what Wisconsin needed. Not just a bucket, but something to get the fans loud, get them on their feet.
Deficit is 6. T draws Wall in the air, but now walled off by a couple of trees for Wisconsin. Fire it up, the chant from the crowd, and there's the answer by T.
Baylor looks like playing man-to-man defense here.
Something that Scott Drew's team has definitely relished the entire season, that opportunity to go one-on-one, turning the other teams over 15 times on average per game. This is a defensive-minded club if there's ever been one. And that time Butler will give it away on the travel.
Substitution on the court.
What was he doing?
That's a great question, and one that I unfortunately might just do not have an answer to.
That ball looked like it was going to come down by the NBA jump line. Like, what in the world was Butler doing? I mean, there's too much time left to get all fancy and cute.
11:40 to be exact, left here in regulation. Vital's third steal. Clark off the pump fake. Mitchell's already got 7 assists. Make it 8.
Can't get enough of the Impractical Jokers? Catch them doing other moderately funny things on Season 2 of the Misery Index, May 14, only on TBS.
The Misery Index. I like it.
It's not a good. It's not a good name. I like the people on the show. It's just not a good name.
And right back the other way, Aleem Ford. 15 on the game.
70% from the field. An excellently efficient game for Ford.
He's already, again, way over his average. Clark getting 2 free throws to come as Davison is the one tacked with that foul. That's his second.
Shooting 2.
I mean, hard to the cup. Definitely going for the block. Just a little late. Chance to make this a 10-point game here at the stripe.
Clark is a 65% free throw shooter. And he is into double figures. That seems to be, I would really say, the story of this game for both teams. It's been players that have been above their ability in terms of production. Not something that we've seen all year from some of these guys. For instance, I mean, Clark averaging 4 points per game. He's already up to 10.
Defensive foul. That's his
And
second.
again, there's another guy in Ford. Already 15 on the game, and he'll go to the free throw line.
Shooting 2.
Serving up the best Italian meats and Italian-American delicacies, Fraboni's Deli has been a Madison institution for nearly half a century. Stop by once and you'll keep coming back. Fraboni's.
You know, one of the college towns I have not been to in my career, believe it or not, Madison, Wisconsin.
I've heard nothing but good things.
I would love to. I mean, it's on the bucket list, trust me, but for whatever reason, just hasn't come about yet. So if the schedulers are listening, Mike, That's on the list. That's where I want my next game to be.
They can send me anywhere. I will go wherever they send me.
Doesn't matter. You anywhere in the 50 states.
Shooting 2.
Anywhere in the 50 states. Alaska, Anchorage basketball up at their new arena. You want to send me up to UMaine, go see some hockey in Orono. Want to send me down to Corpus Christi, go see the Islanders? Send me anywhere.
I actually have been to Alaska for basketball. That is a really beautiful state. We went sled dog, and not racing. I guess went for sled dog rides is all that was. That was a great time.
You get all the fun assignments. You go to Alaska, you go to the Olympics, you get all the fun assignments.
I guess just lucky. Fortunate guy.
And we're both lucky to be doing this.
Oh, no doubt about it.
Baylor's a little more lucky than Wisconsin, being up 10 with 10:15 to go.
Good look inside Wall, and he's going to the free throw line. Vital picking up the harm, his second. Here comes Wisconsin.
Well, we both knew the Badgers weren't going to sit down and roll over. That's not Wisconsin basketball.
Scrappy team, maybe not a high-scoring one. The club averaging just 67 points per game. Defense always good. Clutch scoring, great big men. That's been the MO throughout the years.
Well, of course, the thing now is that, this game looks like it's on pace to get up into the 80s. The Badgers are going to have to find some way to get those points, playing a game that they really don't want to play.
Yeah, you would certainly say that favors Baylor. Teague from just inside the NBA line, off the mark. Pritzl draws his man in the air, creates the easy look.
God, look at that. You get a man in the air. No one's able to come by and help. 2 points. God, look at all the red in the crowd. They traveled so well.
Little full court pressure right here. Anderson in the hip pocket of Mitchell, and he's got to get it across the midline. Finally does. Just less than 9.5 to go in the game for a trip to the Elite Eight. Can cut into a 5-point deficit with a bucket here. Wall, the freshman out of Lakeville, Minnesota, into the corner, and Pritzl makes him pay.
This is going to be a real fun 9:01 of basketball, Alex. I hope you're buckled in because this is going to be a really fun time. Although Gillespie back into the game, going to give the Bears a much-needed different look down the stretch.
Clark checks out for Scott Drew. The lead is just 2 now for Baylor. Last 5 points coming out of the hands of Pritzl. Put it back in the hands of the reliable Teague, but he dribbled it into trouble. Anderson calling out the play. Got Pritzl at the top of the screen. Instead, it's to Davison. Wall offensive board, and put it back in for 2. We're tied.
And this is what makes this time of the year so great. No one sits down, no one rolls over. The Badgers are back, baby. And let me tell you, Baylor is not going to be too happy about that.
Davison picks up his 3rd, though, there. So that is something to watch as Gillespie has a couple of free throws. The former walk-on transfer from Division III Carleton College. How about going from that to being the Big 12 most improved player? It's a story that I think Hollywood would reject, to be honest with you.
It kind of shows the testament to the caliber of D3, where you see players, here, you see players like Duncan Robinson moving up to Division I. There's just good talent, nice basket for the Bears. There's just great talent all across all levels of basketball, and it's just a matter of finding it and developing it.
There is no question, and not many guys that are better than developing that kind of talent than Scott Drew. 6th NCAA tournament appearance for Baylor in the last 8 years. The 5th Sweet 16 right now in program history. Looking to move on to the next round to face Seton Hall. With the ball up 3. Teague dribbles into Davison, right back in the hands of the point guard Mitchell, who is nearing 10 assists on the game. Gillespie, wide open, Teague, in and out. Trice with the ball already has 16. Reavers double team comes. Skip pass. Pritzl. He's made tougher shots than that. Reavers is there for the right-handed lay-in off the glass.
Amazing, just Reavers' first bucket of the game, but great court vision to open up Pritzl and get that whole play in motion. Baylor cheating their defense over a little bit more than they should to the big men, leaving the shooters on the offside open.
Scott Drew needed timeout to talk things over here with his Bears. The 1 seed in the region, up by just 1 on Wisconsin, looking to play spoiler. Mitchell, Gillespie sets the screen and rolls. They get it to Gillespie, but the double team comes. 10 on the shot clock for Mitchell, dribbling it back out. Gillespie calling for it once again at the edge of the paint with just 4 to shoot. It's Mitchell himself. He missed it. Gillespie restarts the offense for Baylor. And it rolls through.
You see, like, everyone kind of just loses people cutting through. Great feed, great finish. Baylor, again, just doing what they have to do to stay ahead. Vital. Goodness, 21 points.
Yeah, he had been a little bit quiet recently, Mike, but starting to assert himself once again with Baylor up 3. 6:14 remaining in regulation. Pritzl tries again and buries it!
I love this.
I don't think anybody is going to say any different. 72 apiece. Teague passed up the wide open shot. It's Vital with his foot on the three-point line off. Wisconsin can take the lead. Trice sets it up from the wing. Where do you think they go here, Mike?
I would try and get to Pritzl. Pritzl's been hot. Maybe even get it to Reavers on the inside. No. Oh.
Oh! How did that go down for Davison?
Good Lord.
Wisconsin back in front. Baylor needs to talk things over.
That must have been, what, 26 feet?
Oh, at least. Falling away. Absolutely unreal. And now the Bears find themselves down a triple. It's Teague. Ties us up once again. What a game here in Charlotte.
I forget I have to talk. I just want to watch it.
You got to give us something
Oh my
here.
God, Dimitrik. Oh, goodness.
That is the third giveaway for the Wisconsin point guard, and an unexpected one. Let's leave it at that. Ball back to Baylor here, tied at 75. I mean, with the way that Trice and Ford are playing, you would say that Wisconsin can stay right in this, but Gillespie there for 2. The pace definitely favoring the Bears right here.
It feels like Baylor is setting the pace and Wisconsin's just trying to keep up. I don't know how that's going to bode in the final minute or 2 of this game.
Yeah, they're going to have to keep hitting from beyond the arc. Pritzl couldn't make the long-range jumper that time, and a 2-point lead for the Bears with the ball. Right into the hands of Reavers, and here come the Badgers. Pretty move by Trice, but he threw it right into the hands of Mitchell. This has been the time in games late on in this tournament that Baylor has just turned it on, and no different in this one as Butler puts it through.
That's why they're a 1 seed. Plain and simple.
4-0 run. Trice long 2. Not this time. Big miss. Mitchell's got numbers if he wants to use them. Instead backs it out against Trice. 3:35 to go. 4-point lead for Baylor. Teague wide open. Vital. Huge offensive rebound. Back to Butler.
They can wind this under 3 minutes if they choose to. What a board.
Teague goes down to get it. And the help comes from Mitchell. No timeout needed for Scott Drew. Gillespie off the cut. Refeed Teague. Give him 3!
We said when this game started, if you feed Maceo Teague, good things are going to happen. Well, good things are happening. A 7-point spread with 2:52 to go now, and the Bears are in eyeshot of a spot in the Elite Eight.
Teague up to 18 on the game. Guy that played his first 2 years at UNC Asheville before transferring to Waco. Everything going wrong for the Badgers, the co-Big Ten regular season champions. Vital passed up the open look. Now it's Butler. Got to give it back to Teague at some point, don't you? And there he is! This is unreal. Everything going Baylor's way. Vital with the steal, the putback, the finish, and a free throw.
12 straight points for the Bears here in the final minutes. 13 straight now. I mean, I thought this was going to be one of the great finishes of all time, and instead, this stretch run is just going to be a walk in the park for the Bears.
I think at this point you could make the argument that Baylor is the most impressive team in this tournament.
I certainly would think they will be the favorite come their Elite Eight matchup against the Pirates.
They'll have a chance to head to the Final Four, but we have seen a lot of good teams still in it. It's not Baylor's to take just yet, but it's looking more and more like an Elite Eight is on the horizon for Scott Drew.
Inside the final 100 seconds now, and they can smell this in Waco for sure.
Heat check right there for Teague, but he made the ones when he needed to.
At this point, just don't commit any dumb fouls and don't roll an ankle.
Here's Trice. Probably just a little too late. With 1:11 to go here in this Sweet 16 matchup, still an 11-point lead for the Bears.
You know, this score isn't going to be indicative of how close and exciting this game was, but it will be indicative of the talent and the ability to manufacture points in numerous ways that only Baylor can achieve.
I cannot wait to watch this Maceo Teague-Miles Powell matchup in the next round.
I mean, maybe we can talk to the coaches and they can just do a half-court one-on-one for 40 minutes. I'd pay for that.
Count me in as well. 11-point lead now for Baylor. Ticking to 30 seconds remaining in regulation. It is all but academic at this point for Baylor.
Folks, don't forget to stick around for the game after this. It's Butler and LSU in Detroit. Vern, Bill, and Tracy will have that one for you.
Long two goes for Pritzl as he adds his tally, but not even close to enough. As Baylor maybe going to score 90 in this game. The only question is, will they try with 7 to go? Mitchell can dribble it out if he wants to, and that is exactly what he'll do. Baylor is on to the Elite Eight, taking down the Wisconsin Badgers here in the Sweet 16. Mike, what a game and what a finish by the Bears.
Yeah, one of the strongest finishes to a Sweet 16 game I've ever seen. Of course, Vital is the player of the game. There was no real other choice. 24, 4, and 4 with 10 cents as well. This Baylor team is good. This Baylor team has its sights on winning 3 more, and they have the skill to get it done.
Maceo Teague adding 21, and when it's all said and done, the Bears over the Badgers, and Baylor is into the Elite Eight to take on Seton Hall for a chance at the Final Four. Thanks so much for joining us here in Charlotte. With Mike Abelson, I'm Alex Perlman. So long, and we'll see you next time on the Reddit Virtual Tournament.